Hello everyone, you are watching Learn with Lovejeet, and in this video I will be discussing pointers. A pointer is basically a variable that holds the address of some another variable. Now let's try to understand this definition using this example. In this example, I have initialized a variable named I of integer type with value 8. Now to store this information 8, we need some memory location, we need some storage. Okay, that memory location will be having some address. Here, for the sake of this example, I have assumed that 8 will be stored at some memory location with address 1000. Okay, so now next line. In the next line, I have declared some pointer named ptr that will be pointing to some variable of integer type. This is the meaning of this int pointer ptr. This pointer ptr means this is a pointer basically, that is it is a variable that will be holding address of another variable, and what this int means, that ptr will be storing the address of a integer type variable, that is a variable that will be holding information of integer type. Okay, now this line is basically only the declaration. Okay, I have not assigned address of any other variable to ptr till now. Okay, now in the next line, what I am doing, I am using this syntax address I to store the address of I into ptr. So as ptr, that is pointer, is also a variable, so it will also be getting some storage in memory, and that storage or that memory location will be having some address. So I have assumed that ptr will be having some address 7000. Okay, to store some piece of information. What that piece of information is? Address of another variable. So at 7000 it will be storing address of another variable, okay, as its content. What will be ptr's content? It will be address of another variable. Now I have stored address of I in ptr. So what is address of I? 1000. So 1000 will be stored in ptr or at memory location 7000. Now when I execute this statement address of I, so what will be printed? Address of I. Okay, this is the argument. Okay, so 1000 will be printed. Next line, address of I stored in ptr. So I am using here ptr. So what will be printed? Content of ptr. What is ptr content? It is 1000. So 1000 will be printed here. Next line, value of I. What is content of I? 8. So 8 will be printed here. Now value at address stored by ptr, that is ptr. If I write simple ptr, what it will give? It will give me the content of ptr, that is 1000. When I write star ptr, that means value at address stored in ptr. So value at address, that is 1000. What is the value at 1000? 8. So this will print 8. Okay, so this is the syntax to print the value star ptr, that is value at address stored in ptr. So this is the basic example to discuss this concept of pointers. Pointers are basically the variables that holds address of another variables. How I am storing the address? Using this syntax and I declared a variable named I, stored information 8 in it, and then I declared a pointer of int type, that is it will be pointing to some another variable that will be holding information of integer type. Then I stored the address of I in ptr. Then I referred to the information stored at that address using this syntax star ptr. Now let's see this. ptr basically contains the address of integer type value. And operator can, now this is important, and operator can only be applied to objects in memory. It can't be applied to expressions, constants, or register variables. Now this AND operator, I have applied it to this I. I is basically a automatic variable. Automatic variables are stored in stack. Stack is in our memory. So I can refer to the address of I because it is stored in memory. I have already told in my earlier video that we can't refer to the address of variables stored in registers. Using AND operator, I can refer to objects that are stored in memory only. Okay. And also I can't refer to constants because constants are basically stored in data segment of. Okay. So I can't refer to those data segments using this AND operator. Now, what is the meaning of this line pointer PTR? I've already told that it means the value at address contained in PTR. So PTR contained here 1000, star 1000 means value at 1000, that is 8. So this was about basic about pointers. Now I will be discussing call by reference concept. In my previous videos, I had discussed the functions. Okay, functions, call by value, and call by reference. Now I will be showing you the concept of call by reference using these concepts. In call by reference, what I told that I can make changes to the values that are present in the actual arguments of, that is the arguments that are passed as values during the function call. So here, first see this. This is basically the main function, and inside main function, I have declared two variables, x initialized with value 10, y initialized with value 100. Okay, here I am printing the value of x and y. So what will be printed? 10 and 100. Now I call this function named call by ref. Okay, first see the definition here. This is a function definition. Okay, I have a function named call by ref. The return type is void, that if it will be returning nothing, and it takes two parameters of pointer type. Basically, first parameter is named I. First parameter is basically my pointer named I. That will be referring to some piece of information of integer type. Then second parameter is of another pointer named j. Okay. Now inside this, so what I have passed during this function call, I am passing address of x and address of y. Okay. So on the left hand side, I have pointer I. So how this works? Let me write here. So this is pointer I. Okay. So this is like this, pointer x and pointer j. Okay. Here I have passed address of x and address of y. So this is my right side. On the left hand side, I should have a pointer variable because from the right hand side, I am passing the address. So on the left hand side, there should be some variable that is capable of holding that address. So on the left hand side, I have two pointer variables named I and j. Now I stores address of x and j is storing address of y. So now let's see what happens inside this call by ref function. I have declared another variable named temp. Okay. Now temp is initialized with, is assigned the value at address of I. Okay. Let 10 is some memory location. Let us assume that 1000 is passed here and 2000 is passed here. So at 1000, okay, 10 is stored, and at 2000, 100 is stored. Now pointer I. Pointer I means value at address that I holds. I is holding 1000 and value at 1000 is 10. So temp will get 10 here. Now pointer I equal to pointer j. This means first see pointer j. Pointer j means that value at address that j holds. J holds 1000 because of this line. J holds 2000 because of this line. And value at 2000 is 100. So pointer j means 100. Now come to the left hand side. This means that what our I is holding at some address, change that value. Basically what I holds, I is holding 1000. So this means change the value at 1000 to the right hand side. Okay. On the right hand side, I'm having 100. Okay. So the memory location 1000 is assigned, or the value at memory location 1000 is updated using the value on the right hand side. Okay, so pointer I, that is I is 1000, the value at 1000 is changed or is assigned the value at the right hand side. So at the right hand side I am having value 100, so 100 is assigned to I. So now I, that is 1000, the memory location 1000 contains 100. Previously what it contained 10, now it contains 100. Okay, now let's move on to the next line. Now temp contains 10 here. Okay, simple 10. Okay. Pointer J means that change the value at J with the value on the right hand side. So J contained 2000, so change the value at 2000 with the value on the right hand side. Value on the right hand side is 10, so J is assigned the value at address that J holds is assigned or is changed to 10. So now what Y holds? It holds 10. Here X and Y is printed again. So what should be printed? It will print 110. Here I printed 10 and 100. Here I print 110. It is taking time. So 10 and 100, 110. Basically how this is different from call by value. In call by value, the values that are passed are received in the private copies of the function. Okay, like here, if I'm not using this star, so I was passing this, okay, without and x and y. Now this value of x and y are received in I and j, and I and j are local to call by ref this function. Okay, so whatever the changes this function will be doing, these are local, okay, or are local to this function. Okay, because I and j are private copies. But in call by reference, what I am doing, basically pointer I and pointer j are also local copies of this call by ref function, but being local copies also, I am basically able to change the values of x and y because I am referring to the address indirectly using this pointer. Okay, I am referring to the addresses of x and y indirectly using this pointer concept. So that's how I was able to change the values.